Welcome back to the channel, guys. Join us at Huddersfield Golf Club, where you might have watched our last video.
Yes.
Which you described as the most boring session you've ever had.
Yes, it was boring, I must admit, you know. Learning by your distances, it was boring.
We was learning about distance, but what also we learned is that you struggle with your 5-iron in your bag.
Badly.
In fact, it didn't go as far as his 6-iron.
Just right.
Then from 7-iron, again another 10 yards, you went up to 6-iron, 136 yards. So we're getting this 10 to 15 yard gap, which for a mid-handicap golfer is very good.
Right, okay.
We went to a 5-iron, it actually was going 133 yards, 3 yards less than his 6-iron.
I suspected that because I hardly play any good shot with it.
So that is a big alarm bell, isn't it? So
Just
that
right.
for us means that club needs to really come out of the bag.
Just right, and we need to buy a hybrid.
It really needs to come out of the bag. So from the 6-iron, 136 yards,
Yeah.
you then go to the 4 hybrid, which is 160 yards.
Yeah, so a huge gap.
So we've got a huge gap now. We've got 25 yard gap.
Yes.
Because that 5-irons,
yes.
you know, we can't
It's
hit
not
it so
working.
well. And although we're not going to persist with the 5-iron, we're going to get a hybrid club for Tahid, because you prefer hybrid clubs.
Yes.
Tahid asked the question is, how could I improve the 5-iron? You know, if I was a young athletic person and I wanted to persist with long irons, what can I do to improve it? Because your bad shot is hitting the ground before the ball, it hits it heavy, don't you?
Just right. And then because it happens, then I swing very slow. When I swing very slow, it does not give me as much as it would say.
So what we thought we'd do, we thought we'd help Tahid learn how to hit the 5-iron a bit cleaner, because it might help you guys at home if you're struggling with hitting longer irons heavy.
Good idea.
So that's what we're going to do today. So if you
Thank
can
you.
firstly stand to the ball, Tahid. And I'm just going to take a little bit of video from this angle here. So if you can just stand up to the ball, and I want to just show the subscribers at home how you're setting up. So where do you feel like your ball is in your stance?
It's probably a couple of inches, 2-3 inches left to from my heel.
Yeah, so it's a bit further forward than centre, would you say?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely, right, okay. Could you bring the club up to the ball and settle yourself before you hit it? Where would you say the back of your shaft is on the club? Is it lined up with the back of the ball, or is it behind the ball?
It's behind the ball.
It's behind the ball, and that's one of the main reasons why I think you're hitting it heavy.
Is it? Right.
So if you could just lean your hands forward a little bit, feel like you're clubbing out in a straight line.
Yeah.
Before you grip it though, could you lean your hands forward? I'm going to have to come and help you do this.
Yeah, that's right.
So set up to the ball. So before you actually take grip of the club, I want it to line up more. If there were a crease in your trouser leg there,
Right.
halfway in your leg, I want it to line there.
Wow.
And then put your hands on it.
Wow.
Okay, now what you've got to be careful of is, because the ball is a little bit in front of centre, is that you make sure that these shoulders stay square.
Right.
So the hands are lent forward, but try to keep this forearm above that one.
Are you going to pay for my physio as well as
Now just stop there, let me have a look what it looks like now. There's still not enough lean. Nowhere near enough lean, sorry. It's there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Because that's presetting a position of impact, and what it's going to do is going to make the angle of the club come down more like this. So it's a bit steeper, it avoids the grass behind the ball.
Okay.
So you should be able to see now, guys, from this angle, that's the correct position for a 5-iron. Do you want to have a go at hitting a ball?
No.
Don't worry, it's fine. Set up again. Don't judge yourself on how the ball flies, okay? That might sound crazy. Sorry, I've just lost a bit of signal here. But when you're learning something new, you're not going to get instant results. Let's have another shot while I'm setting up.
Okay. Forgive me.
No, trust me, just give it a minute. That's it. Let me just cut it a little bit, rest of your irons, and you will get it.
I don't think I'm going to play because it's giving me very uncomfortable.
But you're not going to play with it anyway. But what you need to do is have your hands in front and brush the floor at the same time. Trust me, I think you're trying to avoid the floor now. So hands forward and brush the floor, because it'll brush after the ball.
Okay.
You're just trying to avoid the floor. This bit in. That was better. That was better, it's just I'm switching it on. So because you were scared of hitting the floor, you've tried to stop hitting the floor yourself. But if you're in that position, you've got to try to hit the floor, because it'll hit the floor after the ball. So try and hit the floor. See?
That distance coming up.
It will now. Come on. God, the internet in this building. Right, we're all right. So just going down forward there. Let's be honest here, Steve. You wanted to abort that session, didn't you?
You just like.
He wanted to abort it after one bad shot, and just while I was setting up there, you hit a couple of lovely strikes, because what he were doing is, because we'd only sort of got your shaft laying forward, you were trying not to hit the floor.
Yes.
So it was hitting the top of the ball. But once you've got your shaft in the right place, the idea is to try and hit the floor.
Okay.
Because obviously it's going to hit the floor after the ball. So that's the key now, is don't be scared of the ground, because instead of hitting it before, with that forward press, it should start to hit the ground after the ball. So you can have another go for me.
So you want me to break this 5 before we sell it?
If you could try and get a bit of a shaft lead and then aim to try to hit the floor and turn into your finish. That looks lovely. Well done. Well done. That sounded okay. It didn't sound your best, but it sounded okay. Let's have a couple of more. Remember, this is the hardest club into each bag, so you know, you've got to have a little bit of patience. And we might not keep this, but I think for some people at home, it's going to give them 2 great swing force. A bit of shaft lead, and then brush the floor and turn into your finish. What a strike. What a strike. Now that is filling the gap. That's the 160 yards we've not got in your bag.
No.
You know, and if you were to start striking it like that, who knows, you might even change your mind about the hybrid club. It would save you a lot.
Still, hybrid is not easy to strike.
It is. Okay, not too bad. He's still filling that gap. You know, we haven't got 160 yards an hour, you know, distances earlier.
No, it's giving 160.
Yeah. I was giving 140, I think, 133 before. Okay. Right, I'm going to finish off with a couple more swings. I just want to give you 2 more swing thoughts.
Okay.
Alright. I feel like, you know, your shaft position's great. I feel like you're trying to hit the floor. I feel like you're trying to jump into it a little bit.
Okay.
Alright, so try to maintain your height when you're swinging. Try not to sort of hit down into it. Because along the club you're trying to get power.
Okay.
Try to keep everything better. You were a bit like this, too. When you get to the top, you're a bit like trying to sort of really,
okay.
you know, pull at it and hit it too hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's good.
Let's try it.
Lovely swing. Well done. You really are starting to crunch some, and I mean, you've got to remember this is the hardest club in your bag, 160 yards. That's filling that gap now.
Right, okay.
That's fantastic. So the 2 main points we've talked about is that little bit of shaft lead, making sure that the butt of the golf club is overhanging the front edge of the golf ball.
But the question is still, when you're playing on the course, the line not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You come across all sorts of situations. and if you're not already bubbly about it, then it's more likely something would go wrong.
Definitely, yeah, no, I agree with that. It's a low percentage shot, so you've got to be careful when you use it.
Yes.
Don't just pick your 5-iron out all the time. But if it's sat really nice and it was in your bag now, you never know. You might choose to use that with what you know now.
Yes. But alternatively, if we have hybrid 5,
he's not going to leave this hybrid alone, is it?
That would make life easy.
To conclude, what I would say is if you're above 60-year-old and you feel like you don't swing it 100% anymore, you've got that smoother club head speed.
Yes.
You know, when you do it at 5-iron, you don't get the trajectory and the height, then yes, you're completely right. Let's look towards a 5.
Yeah, I look 60, but I'm not 60 yet.
See, you've done really well with that, and I think you will have definitely helped somebody at home. I think one of the things you do really well as well, and I do want to mention this as well, one of the things you do really well, because not everybody might do this at home, is because you've had the lessons from me and from the beginning you've had good coaching. I'm not just bigging myself up there, I'm just being honest. He's always turned his hips and chest to target well, and he's always finished here. Now, people that strike the ball heavy don't do that naturally.
Right.
A lot of people that strike the ball heavy can finish with, you know, weight still on the back foot, so they've not really turned the hips very well, they've not turned the chest very well, they've not transferred the weight towards target. Alright, so I just want to show, I'm going to take one more video from this side, showing how your body finishes at the end of your swing.
Okay.
So I think that's really key for anybody that's striking it heavy,
Okay.
is making sure they transfer weight and how you do it. So you'll notice in this next shot from Tahid, you'll see how his belt buckle and his buttons on his top fully point to target, and his right heel is off the floor. So it's what we call a professional finish. Look at that finish. It's a camera finish. Almost holding that close.
Let's see the carry. 178.
178.
No, not carry, sorry. The total distance.
Total distance. I think you've done justice.
Yeah?
Yeah, good. Come on now, stop it. You're getting too good. So on a serious note, because you literally want to abort it after one shot,
Yeah.
do you think you could maybe in your practice give this a go with the rest of your clubs in your bag?
It's all fine and good here, but
Yeah.
it all depends how I play on the course. I'll try on the course before we make a final decision, rather to replace this iron with a hybrid.
Right.
But yes, I started feeling a little bit better and striking better on this floor, but it depends on the golf course.
Well guys, you're going to have to come and join us for Furloughed vlog next week, where we'll be letting you know what he's decided and whether or not you try this in your shorter irons. So from your pitching wedge up to your 7-iron in full shots, whether you decide to try that out on the course, we'll let you guys know next week when we do a playing vlog.
Yeah. Other option is that we take that chipper, naughty chipper out, and have 5-iron as well as hybrid.
And a hybrid. I'm not sure. I think that he's trying to get that chipper out of his bag already, just because he's been getting a little bit of stick from his mates.
I don't know that.
And that's why nobody uses these chippers.
It's all your fault. You should have told me that day when we bought it.
Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you've been striking it heavy, give them little tips a go. And firstly, start off on the driving range, and don't just judge yourself on the first couple of shots because it could be scary.
Yes.
But if you persist with it, have 30 balls, and hopefully that'll help you strike the ball a little bit cleaner like it has with Tahid today.
Okay.
Cheers, Tahid.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys in a few days' time. Bye.
Bye-bye.